What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So one of the big questions I am always asked is, where can I get a Switch system from that won't cost me an arm and a leg, $450, $500? Well, yesterday, Switch systems came back in stock online. Went out of stock pretty quickly, but there was something that caught some people's eyes, and it might actually make it a bit easier, maybe, for you to get a Switch the next time they come back in stock. We'll go over that here today. Also, the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 had some activity yesterday, and some web pages went up that making people think that maybe at least one of those systems could be coming a bit sooner than we originally thought. And then Silent Hill is kind of coming back. It's DLC, but it could be kind of leading into that big rumored game getting announced pretty soon. As always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton. And if you're brand new here, hit that red subscribe button down below as we head towards 500,000 subscribers. And we're going to start today with Game Pass. Game Pass, of course, continues to add some pretty good games. We've had some big ones like Red Dead Redemption 2 even added. But it looks like a game that I think will fit in very well to Game Pass is coming in June. It's for Game Pass on console and PC, so you can take your pick there as long as you have the subscription for either one, and that is No Man's Sky. And this is a game that, of course, had a ton of negative press, deservedly so for the most part when it first came out, but that negative press has kind of stuck with it despite a ton of updates pretty much reshaping the game completely. And now we're to the point where people are still unsure if it's really worth their time or to download or check out. I think dropping it on Game Pass is a great move because we can just download it and check it out now ourselves. This is a game I haven't played in quite a while, but people keep telling me it's been updated pretty consistently and they fixed a lot of things and even added a lot of stuff on top of that. So you know what? I will check it out on Game Pass. It'll be dropping in the next few weeks in June, and we'll see how much No Man's Sky has changed. Also, we had the schedule released for IGN's Summer of Gaming event. It's going to be something that will run throughout June. It's a couple of weeks of what appear to be game announcements, gameplay reveals, all kinds of stuff. Even some, like IGN, these icons, where I guess they will do kind of a profile on big figures in the gaming industry. It does look like a pretty good event overall, although it is stretched out more than E3 by a good bit. E3, of course, 4 or 5 days of a ton of information that we unpack afterwards, whereas IGN released some slides. They needed a couple of them to show off all of the different things that they are doing. You're going to want to keep track of these different events. A few that I saw that I'm pretty excited for. Samurai Jack will have some gameplay shown of some kind. That's on the 5th. And then just a few days later, hey, 13, look at that. It's a game I've been asking about, like what happened to it. The 13 remaster that was being talked about by Microids. They tweeted it out and I ran and checked out this schedule immediately. Just a few days later, we'll have a trailer. So that's pretty cool to see some Samurai Jack gameplay. 13 trailer that hopefully comes equipped with a release date, and there are also several unannounced projects that are on this list also, so maybe we'll see some pretty cool reveals, but of course you also have some of the things from CD Projekt Red such as Cyberpunk and a few others. So I think overall it looks like a pretty cool event that will pair up nicely with Summer Games Fest and then whatever Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony have for us. But you know, I'm starting to miss E3 already, and it's not even June. Maybe it's just that block of time where we know there's going to be all of the different announcements rather than something that is this spread out. It's going to be, I guess, just a longer news cycle and coverage for all of this. Oh, and Grand Theft Auto 6 is like one of the biggest rumors online right now for games, and it's been going on for what seems like forever now, but through some financial filings from Take-Two, we may have an idea as to when it's coming out, or at least leading up to its release. Check this out here. This was a chart that they released that shows their marketing spend, and you can see a massive spike in money that they will be spending for marketing, and that's similar to what happened with Red Dead Redemption 2, for example. And Grand Theft Auto 6, we assume, would be the next big release, but this spike is between April 2023 and March 2024, as pointed out by VentureBeat, and that could be like holiday 2023. That could be when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. And I kind of hope it is, because that means that it will just be an Xbox Series X and a PlayStation 5 and PC game. And I guess it wouldn't account for the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4, which also means that those platforms this generation completely missed like a numbered Grand Theft Auto, its own, because GTA 5, keep in mind, was on the 360 and the PS3 and then later moved and ported to the PS4 and the Xbox One. But here's hoping all this time is well spent for GTA 6 and they blow us away in a couple of years. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with these Nintendo Switch sellouts. The Switch continues to sell out very, very quickly, and it's still surprising me that it's at this point now going into June, because yesterday there was a massive restock and everything sold out really, really fast. Now, we know a lot of people are competing with bots, like literal checkout bots, that are grabbing all the Switch systems because they still sell for a marked up amount of $150 to $200 on eBay pretty much consistently. People are paying that much just to get a Switch right now, and I'm hoping over the summer here, like throughout June and then into July, it starts to level off a bit, because as soon as those marked up prices start to fall because demand is falling online for them, because maybe you can go to a store like a Walmart or a GameStop or a Best Buy and just find them, then we'll get back to normal with it. But they were gone super fast. Like, it was posted up online, people noticed it, put it up on Twitter to help anyone out, and then like minutes later, instantly gone. And it was pretty frustrating, because I saw a lot of people who wanted to get one, but they couldn't. But then something else happened. People started to post that GameStop was actually selling bundles of Switch systems, which Wario64 tweeted this out, by the way, here. And you're going to want to pay attention to these Switch bundles, and I'll kind of talk a little bit about why that is. Now, these Switch bundles are being done by GameStop. They're taking things like a screen protector, the Switch system, a copy of like Animal Crossing or Breath of the Wild, and then a Pro controller, and kind of throwing them together for what looks to be about $445. I'm sure there's shipping and tax and all that included as well, but $445 for all of that isn't bad. And for the most part, people will probably end up wanting a Pro controller. They'll probably want either Smash Bros, Zelda, or Animal Crossing right now. I mean, can't go wrong with any of those, right? So I look at that and I was wondering, those are still in stock. Those were in stock for most of the day. Like, I was looking at that hours after the regular Switch systems on Amazon sold out. They were just up. And it was weird to me because people were buying, it looked like, I looked on eBay, still buying $450 Switch systems on there. And it kind of dawned on me that the way the checkout bots work, they might not be able to grab these bundles, or they might not even want to. See, because those checkout bots track SKUs or stock keeping units, and that way they can pick them out and then check out rapidly, snatching up any of the Switch systems out there. But the bundle SKUs change pretty much consistently. In fact, if you go to any of those links on GameStop's site, they're just not up anymore. They don't go out of stock, they just completely pull the listing down afterwards. And I guess when they get more in, they make a new SKU when they get any bundle that they put together. And honestly, it wasn't a bad price. They just kind of added everything up. And of course, GameStop wants to sell more stuff and take advantage themselves of the situation when it comes to these Switch systems. Trust me, I know this, but it wasn't bad for what people are buying Switch systems for now. So if you hear that these any Switch systems come back in stock on Amazon or Best Buy, and you see them selling out rapidly, you're not able to get one, stop for a minute, decide if you can spend that kind of money on top of the Switch, because maybe you did want Animal Crossing, maybe you did want a Pro controller, maybe you did want a screen protector, and it adds up to that anyway. Go check out GameStop's site, because to be honest, the Switch bundles might just be sitting there. Now, if they get crazy and they start throwing in stuff that nobody wants, like some of their collectible stuff, then pass on it. But everything here seemed pretty necessary, or at least functional, for what you would use the Switch for. So just something to keep in mind there when it comes to trying to get a Switch right now. Next up, let's talk about the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Both websites were updated. In fact, the Xbox Series X right now has what appears to be its pre-order page set up and ready to go. Basically, you have the little grayed out button, and whenever that lights up, we're able to start pre-ordering the Xbox Series X, which means we would most likely, I assume, need a release date and definitely a price, which tells me that maybe we are getting really, really close to when they are going to reveal both of those. Now, the PlayStation 5 site was also updated, but it wasn't updated necessarily with a pre-order page, but it was updated with a lot more information, seemingly getting ready for a reveal or an event of some kind. I would lean more towards the event, as the last time we heard about any date that was rumored was June 4th, and I will tell you now, that was a date that was originally set, but I think because of the current situation with the pandemic and work from home, remote work, all that, it's shifted a bit because deadlines were missed, or it just wasn't as organized as if everybody was in the office able to cut trailers, put things together, and who knows, maybe they were even going to do a full live presentation. But yeah, the PS5 event is it's coming up. It's close, all right? So, you get excited about that. But seeing this page get updated with a ton of information ready for it just leans into it more. Now, as for the Xbox Series X to have its pre-order page set up when they're supposed to not be showing all of their first-party stuff till July is a bit curious. Now, there have been some interesting rumors floating around, and Randall Thor, who was on our podcast, Spawncast, a few weeks ago, had mentioned and talked about this on his own podcast and his channel about possibly the Xbox Series X coming out sooner than like November, as even I think right now is that November would have been on the table for the system, even with a possible like September release date. That would be interesting, right? To see the Series X jump ahead and then the fabled Lockhart right now coming out later on, maybe closer to when the PlayStation 5 is coming out. It's just, I saw the pre-order page come up and then we were already kind of thinking and hearing about some of these rumors, even discussing them, and it all kind of started to fit together there, but I'm still thinking November, mostly because of, once again, manufacturing having to kind of shut down for a bit in China and then starting back up. That's probably thrown a lot of schedules off track right now. But interesting stuff here. The good news is I'm going to give it like a week and a half and we should start seeing some PlayStation 5 stuff, and we can finally see some first-party games, because that's what we all want to see. And then the big question is, does Sony go first with their pricing, or does Microsoft? Because like Microsoft's pre-order page is ready, Sony's PS5 page is just about ready, and one of them has to blink first with it. Next up, let's talk about Silent Hill, as it is now part of a DLC chapter for Dead by Daylight, and this kind of surprised a lot of people. The big one here is that they are bringing Pyramid Head into the game, which looks really, really cool, by the way, in the trailer that they showed, and it's currently in testing. They have some test servers set up on Steam for Dead by Daylight, and it looks like they are testing there currently. They also have a new survivor and a new map, and these will go into effect June 16th on PC and console. It is a paid DLC, so keep that in mind. You will have to buy into it. But Silent Hill kind of back here, right? That's pretty neat to see. We, of course, have rumors about a big Silent Hill game of some kind. Some are saying a reboot, some are saying a brand new game. But to see Silent Hill kind of show up here has a lot of people excited and very hopeful. By the way, it does say copyright Konami 2020 that everyone's kind of pointing out now, which dispels those rumors that I maybe two people online believe that Sony had bought the IPs from Konami. I don't know, maybe people actually believe that rumor. I didn't really talk about it because of it. It seems so outlandish. But there you go, Konami still owns Silent Hill, and Silent Hill is still also a pachinko machine, so it makes sense for them to hold on to it. But Silent Hill and Dead by Daylight, while I'm not really that into Dead by Daylight, it's really neat to see Silent Hill at least being used in some way here, with Pyramid Head actually going around and, being Pyramid Head. But maybe that Silent Hill game isn't that much of a rumor, huh? Wouldn't that be cool if that popped up at the PlayStation 5 event? Could. Maybe Konami really is interested in licensing some of their stuff out for use in these games. I mean, if Konami can sit back, not have to worry about making the game, but still getting money for it, why not? So we'll see, hopefully in a couple of weeks. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about Madden and EA and how they've locked up that simulation NFL sports. Of course, no one else can really make simulation football games using the NFL license and all of the players' names and all of that. They signed a deal quite a while now, it feels like, with EA a while ago, and we've pretty much just had Madden ever since. There's been no competition in the marketplace, and it looks like it will continue at least for another 5 years or so, as voting will be taking place today to lock up the NFL license for EA until 2025 and possibly 2026 if certain revenue goals are met. And that is a shame, but I gotta admit, I didn't really expect anything else. It's easy for the NFL to do it this way, work with one publisher and they just make the game year over year and they set everything up. I mean, if they had to work with multiple publishers to create several games, that would just take more time and effort for specifically, I guess, the NFL and anything they have to go through to make that happen. But of course, we do know that there will be arcade NFL games, so simulation is all with EA, but it seems like other companies, as we've seen, are going to be able to make more arcade experiences, which that'll be neat, but still, it is a shame because I miss the days of Madden versus 2K, because Madden 2005 versus 2K5 changed everything, and unfortunately, at least for the next 5 years, we won't really see competition like that again. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day as you're seeing here. This is from Cave Goblin saying, most of my favorite RPGs looks like a blurry mess on their original consoles anyway. I do not see how it would completely destroy my enjoyment of it, but I can totally understand how it would do it for others. I hope they find a way to make it better if it's as bad as people claim. So the way that they would be able to maybe make it look a little better is through a patch after the game comes out. They did something like that with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but it wasn't like this massive difference. It was just a little bit better, but it still at least helped. And because people are already attempting to make the game look better before it's even out by changing up file values and all that, I guess it's possible and we could see that. Monolith Soft, though, however, is probably going to be heavily focusing on running support for Breath of the Wild 2 and working on their next game, which could even be a brand new IP, so that's pretty exciting. As for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, I think most people are already looking at that game as being this amazing game, with the one drawback being its resolution that people are starting to find out about, and they're seeing gameplay and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, it looks blurrier than I would have liked it to, but I think most people who were sold on it before probably didn't really have their mind change necessarily for resolution, because the game itself is very, very good, and I'm still excited to play through it on Friday, but I will be mostly playing it docked because that worked for me for Xeno 2, and I guess that's going to be what I'll do here with Definitive Edition, just because that resolution handheld mode wasn't great. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. Whether there's the Switch restocks, it keeps happening. They go in stock and then boom, they're gone. But let me know if you managed to get one, or maybe even a spot you were able to get yours from, to help people in the comments who, I see it all the time, are still looking for a Switch. It's been tough over the past few months, so hopefully everyone can start getting these systems going up through the summer. Also, what about the Series X and the PlayStation 5? When do you think these systems are coming out? Because now there's starting to be talk about maybe it could come out before November, October release, September release. Let me know about that and the pricing. Then Silent Hill, do you think it will be at the Sony event that should be happening in the next week or two, 3 weeks maybe? Let me know, guys, down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.